Jay Harris, Phil Murphy back with you on SportsCenter. Steve Kerr's heading back to the Bay. After exactly 3 weeks of deliberation, Kerr has agreed on a 2-year contract to return as the Warriors coach. Kerr will remain the highest paid coach in the league per league sources. Next season will be his 13th on the Golden State bench. Kerr inevitably is bound for Springfield, one of the most decorated coaches in NBA playoff history. It's not just 4 titles. His .684 win percentage is second all-time, only behind 11-time champion Phil Jackson, who coached Kerr during the Bulls' second three-peat in the late 90s.
History says it's a must-win tonight for the Lakers.
Rui Hachimura and Luke Kennard. Where will the Lakers be without that duo?
Turnovers starting to mount for the Los Angeles Lakers.
Gilgeous-Alexander starting to catch fire here in the third.
Your playoff life is on the floor. This is abject frustration.
LeBron James doesn't have it going tonight. Reeves doesn't have it going.
They find themselves in an 0-3 hole.
So LeBron and the Lakers staring down a 3-0 deficit in the series. LeBron's only been swept 3 times in his entire playoff career. The last time 3 years ago against the Nuggets in the Western Conference Finals. That's the earliest it's ever happened. He was also swept in the finals against the Warriors and the Spurs. NBA reporter Dave McMenamin joining us now on SportsCenter. All right, Dave, Lakers down 0-3, Game 4 Monday night. What is LeBron's mindset now that LA is facing elimination?
So, Jay, I asked him about the prospect of playing in this Game 4 with the idea that this could be the last time this Lakers group, as currently constructed, ever plays together with one another again. And he said, you don't really talk about that. You focus on the moment at hand. Now, of course, the subtext behind my question wasn't just about this Lakers group together, but it's LeBron James's future. Could Monday be his last game with the Lakers? Could it be his last game in the NBA, period? That's the uncharted territory that LeBron James will be headed towards this offseason, whenever the offseason begins, because he's a free agent. He doesn't have a contract for next season. And whenever he's been asked about next season, he hasn't given a clear answer thus far. So, we'll see if that adds another element to the atmosphere at Crypto.com arena, because we could be looking at the last game LeBron ever plays for the Lakers after 8 seasons with the franchise.
Yeah, lots of uncharted territory, as you said. Dave, LA is actually done a good job of limiting SGA's impact in this series, holding him to an average of 21 points a game. But they're still down 3-0. Why?
Yeah, Jay, 10 points fewer per game for Shea than he did in the regular season. And he's shooting 45% in the series when he shot 55% during the regular season. So you'd say, wow, great job by the Lakers defense. The problem is basketball games involve 2 halves. So the Lakers are getting outscored by 19.7 points per game in this series. 18 points of them are coming after halftime. The Lakers are just getting boat raced in the third quarter. That was the same story on Game 3. The Lakers had a lead going into halftime. Thunder came out with a charge. The Lakers actually able to cut it from 13 back down to 5. Isaiah Joe hits back-to-back triples, and the Thunder have a double-digit lead heading into the fourth quarter, where they only poured it on more from there. This is a tremendously tough Thunder team. They're deep. They know what they're doing. They have continuity, and they have confidence right now. And the fact that they're doing this with Jalen Williams, the other Jalen Williams, on the bench dealing with a hamstring, makes it only that more remarkable, because there probably is another level that this Thunder team can get to as a playoff.
Get it done.
Well, look, their defense has been incredible. And this is what championship defense looks like. You take a look at a team that's won 6 straight games. 5 of those, they've held their opponent under 100 points. The lowest points per game given up in the postseason. And to me, that's what's been different about this team. It's the consistent physicality with which they have played across the board. It's not just the bigs. It's everywhere, and it's really made life miserable for these elite scoring wings that they've seen in these 2 series. So for me, that's what has stood out more than anything. And if they want to finish the deal and complete the sweep against a Philly team, even without OG Anunoby, if he doesn't play today, that to me is where they're going to hang their hat, because shot making comes and goes in the postseason. We know that. defense can be consistent, and it certainly has been for the Knicks.
All right, if the Sixers are going to extend this series, the shot making needs to show up in a big way. What is the formula for the Sixers to win Game 4 and push this to a 5th game?
Yeah, look, when you really break down the series, Game 1, they were coming off the 7-game series with Boston, and they got blown out in New York. You kind of almost saw that coming. When you take a look at Game 2, they were in position to win. 1-possession game, 4 minutes to go in Madison Square Garden, and their offense completely dries up in the fourth quarter, and certainly right there down the stretch. Same thing happened the other night in their first game in Philly in this series. They're in position mid-third quarter. They're right there. And then the offense completely abandons them. And I think for me, it's Tyrese Maxey. When you take a look at his field goal attempts per game in this series relative to what he did in the regular season, significantly down. It starts with him, but you're going to need Paul George as well, maybe even the rookie VJ Edgecombe to step up. I think their perimeter players have got to make shots if they get into a situation where this is a winnable game in the fourth quarter. The Knicks are trying to end this. They don't want to extend it. They want to get as much rest as they can. If the Philadelphia 76ers want to extend this, get back to Madison Square Garden, get yourself in a position, and then have your best offensive player step up and make difficult shots when the situation requires it. They haven't had that in this series.
We are going to get our answer. Who shows up? Game 4, afternoon delight, 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Tim Legler joining the program this morning on SE. Thanks, Legs.
3-0 in the series.
Well, after Game 3, I asked Mike Brown, because he's been around so many iterations of championship teams, does this team have championship poise when you consider all the things that they've done post Game 3 against Atlanta in the first round? They've gone undefeated, and the numbers have been great. And he said, you know what? You're starting to see the things little by little. He said when he first took the job, he thought maybe we'll have a chance. And then he said now that he's seen the regular season, the playoffs, the way that this team has grown, he knows they have a chance. He looks at it and says we have to take it one game at a time. But when you look at the fourth quarters of the last 2 games against Philadelphia, they've held them to 30 points total and 28% from the field. That is enormous defense, not just by Mitchell Robinson, but also by Mikal Bridges, who did a lot of good work in Game 3, especially in the absence of OG Anunoby. If they win Game 4 today, they'll have a lot of rest upcoming before the Eastern Conference Finals, because that Pistons and Cavs series could go long.
And that's the thing. You want to keep the main thing offensively. That's Jalen Brunson. He scored 25 or more in 7 straight playoff games against the Sixers. You don't want to get lost, in the ancillary stuff, the cranberry sauce. You know what I mean? He's Vince Goodwill with the very latest for us on SportsCenter. Thank you, Vince.
I see what you did there.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, but sometimes those sides help bring the main thing together. Quentin Richardson here to chop it up some more. When you look at the first 3 games of this series, Q, why haven't the Sixers been able to break through against New York?
I feel like absolutely, because Jalen Brunson has been a stud from start to finish in this series. He started this series off hot. They have not had an answer for him. I thought they would have defended him better with some of the athleticism they have on the perimeter, but they have not had an answer for him. And then he's had support, whether it was Cat, whether it's been Mikal, whether it was OG before getting hurt. And I feel like Mike Brown switching to the style of play where they have Cat Anthony Towns being more of a facilitator and playing more through him, it gives Jalen Brunson more leeway to move and be free without the ball and get easier shots.
To the Western Conference, Wemby and the Spurs looking to take a 3-1 series lead tonight against the Timberwolves. What's the QR code for Minnesota to even up this series?
Ant-Man, the superstar got to show up. He's got to be who they need him to be, and he has been. To his credit, he's battled through the knee injuries. He's came back, he showed up, and he's gotten better and looked better each game. And I feel like last game was his best game. He went back to the starting lineup. They need more of that, but they're going to need help for him. They need Julius Randle to have a big game. They need McDaniels to have a big game. And then they could use a great defensive effort from Rudy, because he's been super solid going well against Joker in the first series, and now he's played good against Wemby. But they need a big defensive effort and a total team effort to get this done.
Ant is the main, but you need those sides to step up. He went for over 30 in Game 3, but nobody else went for over 17. That's QR keeping the main thing. He's the turkey. He's the ham on this Thanksgiving plate. You know what I'm saying? Thanks, Q.